And Over the Ocean, the last two to load. We're in the gate. And they're off. Over the Ocean sprints out of there and goes straight to the front. Noble Gary is second in the opening furlong as Reesbily put on the brake after getting to the rail. On the outside, Goodfella and Resemblance is in between those two. Bound to Succeed and Supreme Coast is at the back of the field. Around the first turn and Over the Ocean will be the pacemaker. Has it a length and a half. Taking second clearly is Resemblance now, and Noble Gary an eager third. Then Goodfella nicely settled in forward, 2 lengths off the lead, followed by Bound to Succeed and Supreme Coast. It's a compact group that straightens up for the run down the backstretch. Over the Ocean and Resemblance are now head and head with Goodfella on the outside, racing a joint third, Noble Gary inside of him. Bound to Succeed is fifth, 4 off the pace with a half mile to travel, and Supreme Coast. They move toward the far turn, Over the Ocean narrowly. Resemblance holding his own in second. 2 more, Goodfella, Noble Gary still side by side. Now Goodfella clearly into third. And from the back, Supreme Coast tries to mount a bid. Yellow Cap fourth, 4 off the lead. Bound to Succeed trails, a quarter of a mile to go. And Over the Ocean fends off Resemblance. Goodfella on the outside with Supreme Coast continuing down at the rail. Noble Gary inside the 8th pole. Over the Ocean, 2-length lead. Goodfella's trying to get him now, and Goodfella eating up the ground with every stride. Over the Ocean, holding firm. Over the Ocean. What a nice ride to get the money. Goodfella second best. Supreme Coast third. Resemblance fourth. $37.30. Race 2 up next. Start of the early, pick 4. And Warren's World. We're in the gate. And they're off. Warren's World bounces out on top. Nameless has speed. Lord Wimborne. Copper Klimt is now hustled through along the inside. Lookout Point now backs off the pace as they move into the first turn. At the rail, Mischief's Thirsty, Mount Peliar, and Lord Wimborne is with that group at the back of the field. It is Warren's World showing the way. And clears off, leads 3/4 of a length to Nameless in second. Another 2 back to Copper Klimt in third. That group is followed at the rail by Mischief Thirsty, who's just been passed now by Lord Wimborne into fourth. Down at the rail, Mount Peliar and Lookout Point. They have 5 furlongs to travel, and it's Warren's World leading the way, 3/4 of a length to Nameless. Another 2 to Cooper Klimt in third. Then comes Lord Wimborne, hard-ridden in fourth. Between horses, Mischief's Thirsty is 4 lengths off the lead, followed by Mount Peliar and Lookout Point. They head to the 3/8 pole behind Warren's World, the controlling speed throughout. Nameless set down, trying to get after him, but Warren's World maintains a 1-length lead. 4 lengths back to Cooper Klimt in third, then Mischief's Thirsty and Lord Wimborne. A quarter of a mile to go, and Hernandez all over Nameless, and he does respond now to take the lead at the top of the stretch. A wide bid to the front over Warren's World second, a long way to Cooper Klimt and Mischief's Thirsty. They're inside the final 1/8 of a mile, and Nameless has opened up 3. Warren's World couldn't go with him. It's a long way to the rest as Mischief's Thirsty puts his head into third. Nameless, much the best. Scores by 4. Warren's World second, Mischief's Thirsty and Cooper Klimt. And they're off. Oufta, Toulouse-Detrac on the outside. Those two are the quickest, with Toulouse-Detrac now taking command. Just behind them comes Beau Soleil in a lineup of 4. Down at the rails, Sapadilla moves into contention. Isabel Ludlow is in that mix too as they run down the back stretch. And the distant trailer is Strange Addiction. Stellar Cap is with that group behind Toulouse de Trac, who leads by a length and a half. Ufta second past the half-mile pole. 3 clear of Beau Soleil, Isabel Ludlow, followed by Stellar Cap, Sapadilla, 6 or 7 back to Strange Addiction. Ufta puts the pressure on Toulouse de Trac. They're on even terms. Beau Soleil a length and a half behind them, trying to come through on the inside as Toulouse de Trac is losing ground, steadily dropping right out of it. A quarter of a mile to go. Ufta, the wide leader. Beau Soleil comes through on the inside to challenge. Isabel Ludlow in the blue silks on the inside of Stellar Cap. Strange Addiction, who was so far back, is within 5 lengths of the battle up top inside the 8th ball, where Beau Soleil takes the lead. Strange Addiction is just flying from way back. Here's Strange Addiction coming at Beau Soleil. Beau Soleil holds on. Strange Addiction with a tremendous rally in the second. Then it was Ufta, photo between Isabel Ludlow and Stellar Cap. In the gate. And they're off. It's a Factor, El Diamante Negro along the inside, checks on the way, joins them 3 deep. Then comes Gray Power in 4th, Earn Not Given settles nicely in 5th, 5 lengths off the lead, and Dino Dave will do his best running later on. It's a Factor leads them into the first turn, checks on the way, El Diamante Negro at the rail in 3rd. Then Gray Power, 4 off the pace in 4th, Earned Not Given has 5 to make up, and another 2 back to Dino Dave. They move on to the backstretch. It's a Factor, the long shot leader, has it 3/4 of a length, checks on the way, will keep him on a second. Now it's 4 to El Diamante Negro in 3rd. Then Gray Power 4th, followed by Earn Not Given 5th, 7 lengths off the lead. Dino Dave just behind him. Less than a half-mile to go. It's a Factor, checks on the way, right a length back second. It's another 4. Now Earn Not Given gets a cue, makes his move, goes right into 3rd around the far turn. Followed by Gray Power. El Diamante Negro drops right out of it. Passed by Dino Dave. They have a quarter of a mile to go. It's a Factor and checks on the way, takes the lead. 3 lengths back, Earn Not Given in 3rd. They're at the top of the stretch. Checks on the way at the rail. It's a Factor fighting right back. And here's Earned Not Given coming right to the top pair with a 16th of a mile to go. And Earned Not Given forges to the front. Earned Not Given wins it going away. Tight photo for second. An ultra game. It's a Factor and checks on the way. Noses bobbing. Then Dino Dave a distant 4th. All set. And they're off. Gray Area rockets out of the gate, opens up 2 in the first couple of jumps. Distant Fleet has good gas, though, and is naturally faster and just takes over immediately. With El Ondeado 3 off the pace in 3rd. Sir Tom between rivals 4th. James J. Braddock at the rail. And then it's a long way to Johnny Whispers into the far turn. And Distant Fleet is quick. Has it by a length and a half now. Sir Tom takes 2nd. James J. Braddock along the inside 3rd. Gray Area now 4th with 3.5 to make up. El Ondeado and Johnny Whispers continues at the back of the field with a quarter of a mile to go. And Distant Fleet, the one to catch with a 3-length lead. James J. Braddock is racing in 2nd. On the far outside, El Ondeado is trying to mount a bid with a furlong left to go. Distant Fleet maintains a 3-length cushion on James J. Braddock in 2nd. El Ondeado in the center of the track, but it's Distant Fleet far too sharp. Distant Fleet and Billy Anton Georgie make a nice debut. 2nd ends up going to James J. Braddock. Then it was El Ondeado and Gray Area. In the gate. And they're off. Dendera out alertly. Zerat hustled up. Tis Now Mama in between those two. Those three vie for command. Chasing Serendipity is next. About 5 or 6 lengths off the lead, with Annie's Joy racing just inside of her. Then Elegant Sway, Big Mama Sue, and at the back of the field is Glacier Rim. It will be Tis Now Mama to set the pace at a price, with Zerat 2 lengths back in second. Then comes Dendera racing in third. Down at the rail, it's Annie's Joy, 4.5 off the pace, under a tight hold in fourth. Chasing Serendipity just behind her, Elegant Sway, Big Mama Sue, and Glacier Rim. They're coming to the half-mile pole with Tis Now Mama has the 3-length lead. Zerat is racing second, still by herself. 1.5 lengths, Annie's Joy inside of Dendera. That pair followed by Chasing Serendipity with 5 to make up, rounding the turn. Then Elegant Sway, Big Mama Sue. Elegant Sway just steadied sharply. Big Mama Sue just went by her. And another 2 back to Glacier Rim. They have a 1/4 mile to go. Tis Now Mama still maintaining a 3-length lead at the top of the stretch. Zerat second. Annie's Joy set down along the inside, takes that second spot, and is coming after Tis Now Mama. Tis Now Mama still in front and doing it well. And Tis Now Mama with a 3-length lead. Big Mama Sue starts to close stoutly, but she's out of time. Tis Now Mama all the way. Scores by 3. Big Mama Sue second. Elegant Sway third. Photo fourth between Chasing Serendipity and Annie's Joy. And they're off in the Palos Verdes. Roll On Big Joe broke beautifully. Goes straight to the front. For All Mankind on the outside. Up to head him and take command. Bartoldi is in the mix through the opening stages. Then Banyik and Anarchist at the back of the field. Down the back stretch, Roll On Big Joe for All Mankind. Roll On Big Joe a little bit quicker. 1.5 lengths to Bartoldi racing in between horses. Banyik on the outside. And Anarchist moves through at the rail to take third as they move toward the 3/8 pole. Roll On Big Joe is the leader, a 1/2 length in front. Now it's a length on For All Mankind, who's hard-ridden, trying to keep pace second. Another 3 to a lineup of 3. Banyik is trying to get a little piece of it on the outside. Between horses, Bartoldi and Anarchist. They pass the 1/4 pole and turn for home. Roll On Big Joe spurts clear to lead it by 3. Make it 4 at the 8th pole. For All Mankind is in second. Banyik on the outside third. They're coming to the 16th pole, and Roll On Big Joe will dominate the Palos Verdes. Roll On Big Joe cruises home, wins by almost 5 lengths. For All Mankind second in front of Bartoldi and Banyik. In the gate. And they're off. Jungle Peace is out quickly. Lilliput on the outside has some speed. Now, here comes Entressa, who wasn't quick out of the gate, but she's very fast now. And Entressa crosses the dirt in front, opening up a length now on Parle in second. They're followed by Jungle Peace, who's already 4 lengths off the lead. Then it's McKechnie racing on the inside of Marula. That pair followed by Favor to You. Kitty Marin second to last, and Lilliput is last. Past the half-mile pole, and it's Entressa scampering clear to lead it by 4 lengths. Jungle Peace races in second. Down at the rail, it's McKechnie, a joint third, passed now by Favor to You, who's a clear-cut third at this stage. Then Parle and Marula side by side, 2 lengths back to Kitty Marin and Lilliput. They pass the quarter pole and come for home, and it's Entressa cruising along with a 3-length lead. Jungle Peace angles out to try to get closer to Entressa at the furlong pole, and a length back to Favor to You in third. Coming to the 16th pole, Entressa, Jungle Peace alongside. Jungle Peace takes the lead close to home. Favor to You running on well. It will be Jungle Peace. That's 3 for Umberto Rispoli. Favor to You second, and Tressa was third, then Kitty Merritt. And they're off. Very even start. Afternoon Nap in the center of the racetrack. Lonesome Stew is up close in the opening furlong. Just behind them, Gypsy Tears. Clever Clover is down at the rail and was just passed by Tom Seaver, who moves up to take the third spot and only 2 lengths off the lead. Mio Bambino is racing in between horses. Duty First is headstrong on the outside, calms down now in a gap of 5 back to Final Storm. Lonesome Stew passes the half-mile pole a length in front of Afternoon Nap. They are followed by Gypsy Tears, Tom Seaver on the outside. Then Clever Clover in the red colors, 4 lengths off the lead. Mio Bambino is next, Duty First, and another 3, Final Storm. Approaching the quarter pole, and Lonesome Stew is all alone. Lonesome Stew clear by 5. Afternoon Nap, Gypsy Tears, Clever Clover is down at the rail, and closing from last, Final Storm angling to the outside with good momentum, but not enough to get anywhere close to Lonesome Stew. Another for Frey Sue and Glatt. He just had to hold on here. Lonesome Stew wins it by just over 10 lengths. Final Storm second. Gypsy Tears third, very close for fourth between Afternoon Nap and Mio Bambino. It's official. The 10th closes out the... And they're off. Bro is fittingly showing good early speed. Peck's Lane up alongside, and Peck's Lane's a little bit quicker. Gemini Buzz now moves into second. Bro in third. Curling Command comes away in fourth. At the rail, Hothead moving into contention. Wasn't quick out of there, but is now up to third. They're followed by P-Town Prancer. Down at the rail, Horizon Wildcat, who's in steadying just a touch on the inside after hesitating at the break. That group is followed by Silver I Am, who is racing on the outside of Riding By. Willisau is down on the fence, about 8 or 9 lengths off the lead, and the distant trailer is Little Diddy. They're midway around the far turn, and Bro makes his move for the lead. Bro with a quarter of a mile to go takes over. Gemini Buzz in between horses in second. Just behind them, Horizon Wildcats firing. Once again trying to lug in a touch, but he is closing stoutly, has to get to Bro. Bro 2-length lead. Horizon Wildcat, Gemini Buzz, Hothead. Bro means business at the 16th pole, and it's Bro. Bro wins it by 3. Horizon Wildcat was second. Hothead third in front of Gemini Buzz. And then the battle to complete the super high 5 was a photo between Riding By and Curlin Command.
The big news yesterday from a gambling standpoint was the pick six. Did you hear the news? There was one winning ticket. It paid in excess of $46,000. Do you know how big the ticket was? $64. A horse player out there who played through the twinspires.com website hit the pick six yesterday on a $64 ticket. And the winning jockey in two of those races was Antonio Fresu. He won on a favorite, but he also won on a bomb for trainer Doug O'Neill. 25-1. That certainly contributed to why there was only one winning ticket. Antonio's agent is joining us on the seminar today. His name, Tom Knust. Tom, happy Sunday. Welcome to the seminar.
Thanks, Tom.
It's great to have you here. Now, Antonio won 2 races yesterday. Congratulations. It was good.
Yeah.
Do you have any money on that 25-1 shot? You and Doug are kind of buddies.
I'm the one who had that ticket. No. Yeah. But no, Doug, he has an owner that had the horse in the stake, the next race.
Correct.
And that owner was coming out, so he said, well, I see him run 2 horses.
Sure.
So he put the other
It's
horse
amazing how that
into the
works
race.
out sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
so it worked out good for everybody.
And the horse in the stake didn't do all that well, unfortunately, but the 25-1.
Yeah, I think being on the inside, drawing that inside, I think was kind of a negative thing for him. So he's a good horse, and he'll be all right.
Antonio has 12 wins, 6 wins on the main track, 6 wins on the turf course so far this meet. How would you gauge both his performance and your performance up to this standpoint? I know everybody wants to be leading rider, but you guys have had a lot of seconds, unfortunately.
Well, unfortunately, we've missed over half the meet because he's had days and been gone out of town.
Sure.
And now this next weekend, we had some really good mounts. And he's going to be in Saudi next weekend.
Well, the purses are pretty good over in Saudi. Hopefully that makes up for the mounts you missed.
Yeah, the $20 million one is not bad.
Not bad at all.
If you run 5th, you get $1 million.
Antonio's a worldwide jockey. Has he ever ridden over in Saudi before?
Yeah.
Do you know if he has?
Yeah, he's ridden there a few times.
And I'm sure that's a tactical advantage for him compared to some other riders who maybe never rode there before.
He knows the track really well.
Good.
Yes, and I think that's probably why the prince over there wanted him on his horse.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, Antonio had a busy morning this morning, as did you. You said earlier before we came on the air, he worked some horses. Do you recall any of the horses he might have worked for? Which barns you worked for?
Yeah, I worked a few for Phil D'Amato and then a few for Doug O'Neill. We worked Raging Torrent.
Sure.
At 9 o'clock, and Raging Torrent worked really well. He's a monster.
He loves 7 furlongs, doesn't he?
He does. He likes one turn. I think they're pointing him for the 1-turn mile in Dubai. He likes the 1-turn races. Yeah.
Antonio is an aggressive worker in the morning as well, right? I mean, that's something he likes to do, and that's something you encourage him to do?
Well, I think he doesn't mind it. I think he probably would rather not do it because, he has to go get ready for the races in the afternoon. But it's kind of a necessity. And he's been here like 2 years. I think when he gets, a little bit more established, he won't have to work so many horses. But right now, I think you really need to work horses for these trainers.
You've been my guest before, Tom, and just off of memory, you talked about how Antonio's been here 2 years. If I'm correct, did not Umberto Rispoli kind of introduce you to Antonio, and that's how you became his agent?
No, actually, it was Leandro.
Leandro Mora, that's right.
Who works for Doug O'Neill. He's been over in Dubai the last 2 or 3 years in a row. And he kept telling me about this rider over there that he thinks really, really good. And then Doug went over there and he saw him, and then Doug liked him a lot. So I knew Doug would ride him.
Sure.
So Leandro Mora has the credit for me getting him. Yeah.
Interesting. Does Antonio like the Southern California weather and lifestyle?
He likes Del Mar.
There's not too much wrong with San Anita, though, either. We all like Del Mar, but I mean...
No, well, the problem is his wife's not here. She's over in Norway, and she's not going to come until she gets her green card because she wants to work. And she does broadcasting, and she worked on the backside and trained horses and galloped horses. But she doesn't want to be here just to be a wife. So when she gets her green card and comes over, I think they'll be happier here because they'll get a house and they'll get moved in.
It'll be kind of like a dead heat. Who makes more money in that household, right? Once she comes over here and starts working.
Yeah, close.
Tom, all kidding aside, obviously Antonio's a very talented jockey. You've been doing a lot of things in racing for a lot of years. Who are some of the other jockeys you represented in previous engagements? P-Val comes to mind.
P-Val, I had him 4 different times. I had Kent DeSarmo he was my first jockey for a couple of years. I had Corey Nakatani twice. And I had Richard Migliore when he came out here. And I had Jose Valdivia. And then I had Kevin Krieger. We won San Antonio Derby, went back for the Kentucky Derby. So I've been working on the track for 55 years now, but actually 23 years now I've been a jock's agent.
Amazing.
That was the last thing I thought I'd be doing.
You've certainly aged gracefully, that's for sure, Tom. It's a pleasure to have Tom Knust, the agent for Antonio Fracio, as our seminar guest today. Antonio rides 6 races, 3 of which he's the morning line favorite in. We're going to find out who Tom likes in all 10 races. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes on today's 10-race card here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. Track is fast, the turf is firm, and the rail on the turf course is at 20 feet for today's action. Here are the early changes. In the first, number 1, Mutt Dillon, 2 pounds over. Early pick 5 starts with the first. Early pick 4 begins with race 2. Changes in the second. In the third, scratch number 4, activated. Race 3, take out the 4. In the fourth race, middle pick 4 wagering is offered, no changes. In the fifth, scratch number 5, turn on the Jets. Race 5, scratch number 5. The pick 6 starts with the fifth. Race 6, scratch 6, 1 big smile. Late pick 5 starts. In the seventh, program scratch at number 5, White Mountain. All turf pick 3, late pick 4, both start with race 7. In the eighth race, $3 late pick 3 wagering is offered, no changes. The ninth is the Baffle Stakes down the hill. Couple of blinker notes, late double begins. And in the 10th, scratch number 4, Inner Fury. Super high 5 wagering. No one hit it yesterday. There's more than $16,000 in the carryover. Enjoy your day here at the Great Race Place. We've got the Corgi Nationals, lots of activities in the infield, and we have the Coast to Coast Pick 5 every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, combining races from Gulfstream and Santa Anita Park. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. His special guest today is Tom Knust.
Welcome back. We're talking horse with Tom Knust. He's the jockey agent for Antonio Fracio. As you just heard Frank Miramati say, one person did solve the pick 6 riddle yesterday, but nobody hit the super high 5 in the last race. So the super high 5 carryover in today's last race, the 10th race, is in excess of $16,000. We'll get to that first, but first things first, Tom, let's take a look at race number 1, where you ride the morning line favorite in the current betting choice at 9-5. That would be number 5, Dirty Words. We're sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course. The rails today are at 20 feet. Race 1 also begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. This race is for maiden claiming 3-year-olds in for a $50,000 tag. Dirty Words had one effort over at Del Mar, now adds Lasix. Talk to us about Dirty Words specifically and whether you put him on top or someone else in race 1, Tom.
Well, I do put them on top. And the funny thing is that these people that own the horse, they don't own a lot of horses, but they also the ones that own Stronghold.
Correct.
They run right
and they've had another stakes winner. Name doesn't come to mind right now, but they have select stock, but they do well with their stock.
Yeah, they're really nice people and stuff. So I think Dirty Words dropping to 50 makes a big difference. And I think he'll dominate in this race.
Well, FOMO Joe is running in our feature race today, the Baffle Stakes. And you can see last time out, Dirty Words ran in that FOMO Joe race in a maiden special weight race, now drops down to 50, adds Lasix. Has Antonio been working this horse in the mornings on the main track?
You know what? I can't tell you if he has been or not, but I work so many horses for D'Amato, and I really never ask him who we're working.
Gotcha. Tom, let me ask you a question, because obviously as we look through today's card, you ride for some very high-profile barns. You mentioned Phil D'Amato, who you ride for a couple times today, Mark Glad, Doug O'Neill. Is being a good jockey agent really just a function of having strong relationships with trainers, or does it go deeper than that?
Well, the way I figured it is 20% of the trainers win 80% of the races.
And that's a fact.
Yeah, and the other 80% fight for that 20. So what I try to do is fight for the 20% of the trainers
Keep
that
it
win
simple.
80%. Yeah,
sure. So. But you have to have a relationship with them, because I'm sure all the other agents kind of have the same mindset.
Yeah, and you try to keep a relationship with them, and you don't veer from it. And like I say, it's been my 23rd years as a jocks agent, and I just feel that you're better off riding for trainers instead of riding horses.
For sure. And that means that you're loyal to those trainers as well.
Exactly. And you know they're going to win races, so you know you're going to win races.
Race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We're on the main track. This time 6 furlong starter, optional claiming types. A field of 6. Number 5, Zombo Bombo is a first-time gelding. The morning line favorite from the Dean Pedersen barn. Number 2, Jerry Spirit. In here, Tom, you ride number 1, Handsome Ticket for the Mark Glatt barn. Let's take a look at Handsome Ticket's last race. You didn't ride a Handsome Ticket this particular afternoon, but this race was back on January 23rd. It was the 9th race. Handsome Ticket was actually the betting choice, and I thought ran very, very well. He's going to break from post position number 3. Let's listen to Frank Miramati describe Handsome Ticket's last performance and watch the runner breaking from post position number 3.
And they're off. Handsome Ticket gets the first call out of the gate. Down at the rail, here's Sir Maximus. Traveling Show with the red blinkers is also up there, along with Bolt Supremacy, who's only a neck off the lead. Bruckner is in that group. Down at the rail, Schwartzmeyer, Oscar Joy, and the distant trailer is Naftis. They're coming to the half-mile pole, and Sir Maximus has come through on the inside to take a very narrow lead. Handsome Ticket a neck back second. Bolt Supremacy comfortable while 3 wide third. And Schwartzmeyer is in fourth, 3 lengths off the lead midway on the turn. Then it's Bruckner inside Travelin' Show. Oscar Joy, Naftis just 5 lengths covers the field with a quarter of a mile to go. And Bolt Supremacy makes the move for the lead. But Handsome Ticket's not done and going on. Handsome Ticket, Bolt Supremacy are head and head inside the final 1/8 of a mile. Then it's Traveling Show. Schwartzmeyer was in tight, now trying to get through and does get through. And here's Schwartzmeyer. Abel Lescano gets through on the inside, and that was the winning move. Schwartzmeyer wins convincingly.
Tom, that race was on turf. Today's race is on the main track. Here's some statistics courtesy of DRF Formulator for trainer Mark Glatt. When he goes turf to dirt the last 5 years, he wins at a 25% win clip. He finishes in the money 67% of the time. So it's a strong move with a sample size of 159 runners over that 5-year period. Likewise, Tom, when you ride for Mark Glatt, when Antonio Freysu and Mark Glatt team up, the last 5 years, you guys win at a 26% win clip, a 67% win, 67% in the money clip. Let me ask you a question regarding Handsome Ticket. Did Mark come to you and say, hey, I want to ride Antonio? Was Diego not available? Specifically in this instance, how did it turn out you wound up on this horse? I'm
not sure. I think I see Diego's, he's on that horse at George Papadromo.
Yep.
And so I think some cases, they give a call away.
Kind of like what you said, they remain loyal to trainers.
Yeah, and so he just called me and asked me to ride the horse. So naturally, I was going to ride, no matter who the horse was, I was going to ride for Mark because he's such a good trainer, and those numbers don't lie. So I think it probably might have been a situation that Diego's agent had given the call to George already and didn't want to go ahead and change.
And when we watched that replay, the takeaway I took away from Handsome Ticket's last effort on the turf course is he was hounded every step of the way. He never got a chance to be comfortable. He had horses surrounding him. He fought for the lead the entire way. He put his head in front at the top of the stretch, and then somewhat understandably so, he tired late.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it was that bad in an effort.
Well, you're the 3-1 second choice in today's second race. I should say the third choice in a field of 6. Good luck to you, Tom, with number 1, Handsome Ticket in race number 2. Race number 3, we're back on the turf course sprinting, 6 furlongs of the distance. Fillies and Mares. It's a starter allowance race. 1 scratch the 4 activated, leaves us with a field of 5. You don't have a mount here, but trainer Mark Glatt does. Long May She Reign, ridden by Ricky Gonzalez, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Give us your thoughts on race 3, Tom.
Well, I think that horse just shows speed, and Ricky's really good on the lead. So
he's having a good meet.
Yeah, he is. He's a good rider, and he tries a lot.
He's got some wedding bills to pay for.
Yeah, but I like the 3, Miss McWhinnie, Doug O'Neill's horse. I think the horse needed the race last time, and honestly, I think Giovanni Frankel has been riding really well lately. He had some, I think, had some physical problems, stuff that he dealt with, and
sure, he was out injured for a while. Yep.
Yeah, and as he's come back, I think he's an excellent rider, and I think he's doing really well. So I'm going with the 3.
And Miss McWhinnie last time out lost to Lamborghini. Lamborghini also trained by Doug O'Neill. She's a very talented filly. You like number 3, Miss McWhinnie on top. You also give a little love to number 2, Gem Mine, ridden by Flavien Prat. Let's talk about Flavien for a minute. You don't have his book, but obviously he's the current Eclipse Award winning jock. What, in your mind, what makes Flavien such a good jockey?
Well, he when you see him ride and stuff, he puts his horses in the right spot, and he's a strong finisher. He's a very smart rider. I think that gives him advantage over a lot of riders. And he's very consistent. I think, a lot of horses any jockey can win on, but it's consistency that you want. So when you're in those big races and, you want a jockey that can make the right moves at the right time, and Pratt's done it for the last few years, and he does deserve the Eclipse Award.
And one example would be Mike Smith in the Dubai World Cup many years ago when Arrogate missed the break. He didn't panic. It was a big stage, a lot of money, and he still got to the winner's circle.
Yeah, and Mike's incredible. He's still riding, and he's like Dettori. Those guys just don't age.
Frankie Dettori, you must have liked the news today coming from Ron Anderson, in case you didn't hear it. He's going back east. That means more mounts for you.
Yeah, I know. He was talking to Doug because he wanted to go see the Lakers before he left. And so I said, well, I'll buy you 2 tickets if you leave early.
He didn't take you up on the offer.
No, he didn't.
Race number 4 on today's 10-race card begins a 50-cent middle pick 4. Once again, we're sprinting. By the way, 9 of the 10 races today are sprint races. The only 2-turn races later in the card. So race 4 is sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. It's a restricted race for fillies and mares. $5,000 is the claiming tag, a field of 7. As you well know, Tom, these races are primarily restricted to horses that used to be based up in Northern California. You do not have a mount in the race, but number 7, Morning Addiction from the Bill McLean barn, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. These races can be tough to handicap because we're not really familiar with this horse flesh. You might be more so than most of us. Who do you like in race 4 and why?
Well, I like the 1 because there's a big drop in class. I think this kind of horses he's running against are ones she's never had to face before. And that Manuel Maricano is a bug rider, but he's getting a lot of press, and I know he hasn't won any races here yet, but he's been riding well, and his time will come. So I think with that rider and the class drop, I think the 1's the one to beat.
You're also trying to beat the chalk and the exacted because you like number 2, Grateful Attitude at 3-1, ridden by Kyle Frey. What caught your eye about her?
Well, there's another horse. I think numbers-wise looks like maybe the best in the race, and you got Kyle Frey, who's riding really good, and I think he's a great rider. So I think you've got a combination of the numbers and everything. So I think it could be between the 1 and 2. Not taking anything away from Bill McLean or Armando Russo. I just think those horses have more class.
Sure, it's a gambling game, so you're entitled to your own opinion. Tom, you mentioned just in your analysis of this race a couple of handicapping principles, numbers and class. When you're looking at a race, like what is maybe more important? In other words, all the relationships that jockeys and trainers have. I'm sure that factors into your handicapping equation, but the speed figures are important. The class is important. How do you kind of put everything together to try and scope out a winner?
Well, I think everything is a combination of things. The buyers, the numbers on the sheets, what the horse has been running against, the class drop. I think you got to put all things together. I don't think you can count on any one of them. If you could count on any one of them, then we'd all be rich.
Of course, and we'd all be betting the favorite because everyone would fall on the same horse.
Exactly. So I just think it's a combination of things, and see if you like a horse and see which numbers and stuff that agree with you. And if everything kind of lines up, then you bet it.
You've been around for a while. I know that you knew Bobby Frankel. Bobby Frankel was a big endorser of the sheets. He really liked the sheets, and he was also a big advocate of weight. He really was concerned about even 1 extra pound on a horse. Talk to us about Bobby.
Well, personally, I've been racing secretary, and I've been racing for 55 years. And I think weight's very important in horse racing. Oh,
even a pound.
I think even a pound. If you just stop and think about, when you go ahead and like wrestlers, they have to weigh within the thing, and you go 5 pounds, it makes a big difference.
Of course. Suddenly they're no longer competitive.
You go from 130. My granddaughter's a wrestler, happens to be #1 in the country.
Congratulations.
Yeah. But if you go from 130 to 135, it's a big difference.
Sure.
And with horse racing, and you're carrying over amount of grounds, the 1 pound can make a difference. And Frankel, one time I woke up in the morning and my wife said, "You're in the front page of the Herald Times." And I said, "Wow, that's good." So I looked at it. It was a sports section. And it said, Bobby Frankel said Tom Knust should be a bartender in Fresno.
No kidding.
Because he was upset with the weights.
He threw you under the bus.
Yeah, and it was over 1 pound.
Wow.
It was over 1 pound. Yeah, but I agree. I think weights make a difference in horse racing.
And we see that with the apprentice jockeys as well. If the apprentice jockeys typically have a bit of talent, suddenly the trainers start to migrate to that apprentice jock. I think primarily because of the weight off. There's a lack of experience, but they kind of like the jock because the weight is off.
Exactly. And bettors, you need to have an incentive for people to bet. So if a horse is getting 4 or 5, 6 pounds from another horse, and the other horse is 3 to 5, 2 to 5, then it gives people incentive to bet because of the weight.
For sure.
So I think weights really make a difference when it comes to betting, and it helps their handle, I think.
Race number 5 begins the $2 pick six. We start with a fresh slate today. As I mentioned, one winning ticket in the pick six yesterday, paid $46,000. The ticket was purchased for $64. We kick things off here in race number 5. Sprinted the abbreviated sprint distance of 5 furlongs in the turf course. It's just a straight allowance race. Scratch one of the 3 Phil D'Amato runners. Number 5, Turn on the Jets, will not compete. That leaves us with a field of 6. Number 6, Sorrento Sky, is the 5-2 morning line favorite. You write Sorrento Sky. Before we get your thoughts on the race time, I want to watch a race back from Del Mar on December 1st, their closing day. That's because 2 of the 6 runners in here exit that race, including the runner you write, Sorrento Sky, and also the winner, Unconquerable Keen, that particular afternoon. It was a stakes race. Today's race is an allowance race. Let's watch the replay back on December 1st. Pay attention to the runner breaking from the rail. That would be Sorrento Sky. Let's listen to Larry Comas describe the action.
They're off in the Stormy Liberal. Sassy Nature, the filly, flies out of the gate, takes the lead right away and opens up 2.5 lengths. Boss Sully is away running in second position, and then it's Sorrento Sky third to the inside. Outside of them, Noble Reflection is next and just nails along the rail. Break of another 1.5 lengths more back to Slider as they race for the far turn. And then it's Unconquerable Keen, Turn on the Jets, and Johnny Padres. Sassy Nature, so fast early, 21.57 that opening quarter mile. It's a 4-length lead on Boss Sully and a ground-saving Sorrento Sky who rides the rail coming to the top of the stretch. And now Sorrento Sky's making a move up the fence. Boss Sully to the outside. They took over the lead. Just Nails is rallying up the rail. It's Sorrento Sky. Boss Sully just nails toward the inside. Turn on the Jets finishing well too. And Unconquerable Keen. Unconquerable Keen runs them all down.
Tom, you were the 7-2 favorite. I shouldn't say you were because Kaz Kamura rode the horse, but he did nothing wrong. Broke from the rail, showed a lot of speed, had a lot of heart. Unfortunately, that race was at 5 furlongs, which is the same today. It could be a replay. Why is it going to be different in your opinion?
Antonio? No. I think I agree with you. I think the horse ran its race and stuff, but these horses going 5 furlongs, 6 furlongs, or whatever, they can beat each other. I think Sorrento Sky is a better horse than Comparable King. So I think, and where we drew, I think helps us being on the outside. So I think he can turn the tables here in this race with him.
And you also like number 1, Tiger Hunt, a little bit, as we can see on the graphic. What do you like about Tiger Hunt?
Just consistency. I mean, he's 5 furlongs. He's won 2 or 3 times.
He sure has.
And I think, probably Rispoli had given D'Amato the call in this race. And but there's nothing wrong with going from Rispoli to Dettori to great Italian riders. But when you could get to Torrey, I don't think that's a bad thing. And
certainly they both are very, very talented turf riders as well as general overall great riders as well. Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. We're sprinting 5.5 furlongs this time on the main track. Once again, a restricted $5,000 claiming race. Non-winners of 2 races lifetime. Scratch the 6, who was the original morning line favorite, number 6, One Big Smile. Now we've got a field of 8, and the revised morning line favorite will be number 4, Get 'em Dusty from the Steve Miotti barn. 3-1 on the morning line. Rumor has it that Dusty is Steve Miotti's dog. Is that correct? Do you know, Tom?
Yeah. Well, it's his assistant foreman's dog.
Okay, but it's kind of like a barn.
Yeah, and he takes care of the dog all the time. It's just a great dog, and he's just so friendly and everything. But he's got some problems, and he's hard for him to walk and stuff. But
Sure.
he's a great dog. But yeah, I think with Miotti, anytime you have any kind of horses, any kind of races stuff, he's a very good trainer. His horses always are ready. And I think with this class of 5,000 stuff, I think Miotti can go ahead and bring home the bacon.
Steve Miotti certainly had a good winter meet here, a classic meet at Santa Anita. 6 wins from just 22 starters. His barn has been red hot. Let's talk about the backside for a minute, Tom. You brought it up, talking about Dusty. It's really a community back there, right? You spend a lot of time back there, but if somebody gets sick, somebody gets injured, kind of the whole community on the backside rallies around that person.
Yeah, I mean, if you just think about the game as it is and stuff, you know, we all love horses and we all want to be around them, but it is a community. And you think about all the grooms and the hot walkers and exercise riders and stuff that work the backside that have put their kids through high school, college.
Some get scholarships through the Gregson Foundation.
Exactly. You know, so it is something that, and it's year after year. If you look at Doug O'Neill's barn, he's got people that have been working for him for 30 years.
And some generational families as well.
Exactly. Their kids and stuff. Leandro, he's got 2 sons that work for Doug, you know, so it is a community and it's something that people take pride in. And I mean, it's just, you know, you got to look at everything. It's not just the horses, but if you didn't love horses, you couldn't do it.
Of course.
There's no way you could get up early in the morning and work, you know, as much as they do.
And the love is shown on the backside. I mean, it's shown on the front side during the afternoon, but it's even more apparent if anybody gets to the backside.
Everybody on the backside, they take care of each other. Yes.
Race number 7 begins 2 popular wagers, both the 50-cent late pick 4, as well as the $3 all turf pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. We're going 6.5 furlongs on the flat turf course for maiden claimer. $50,000 is the claiming tag. Program scratch of the 5, White Mountain, leaves us with a field of 7. Number 2, Field of Magic, is the 7-5 morning line favorite, as well as a first-time gelding. However, you ride a horse for Doug O'Neill, second off the claim, breaking from the rail. Number 1, Crazy Cavalier. Talk to us about race 7, Tom.
Well, I know my horse likes the grass, and he's run good on the grass. He ran good last time. Field of Magic has not run on the turf, and he's dropping, and they cut him. So it's not probably like a lot of confidence in the horse. So maybe 7-5 is a little bit too low for the horse. I think maybe Crazy Cavalier will go off as a favorite. And then I like Sandbagger. Gary Studi only lost to him by like 3/4 of a length last time. And Gary, for the horses he has, does an excellent job.
He sure does. And Tyler Bays, you mentioned some jockeys who are having good meets. Tyler Bays has been winning races a bunch the last couple of weeks. I know that he's a hard worker. It's good to see him.
Yeah, and Tyler's always been a very talented rider, and it's just a matter of getting the horses. But if you put Tyler on a decent horse, he's going to win for you.
Race number 8 begins the $3 late pick 3, once again with a reduced 15% takeout. We're sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track. For fillies and mares, $8,000 is the claiming tag. Non-winners of 3 races lifetime. Field of 7, number 6, Icy Mischief, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. 7 ways you can go here, Tom. Which way are you going and why?
Well, I'm going with the 1 because it's speed. Bill McLean does a really good job of the horses. And again, you got the Americano, the bug rider.
Yeah.
So whenever you get a bug rider that has talent, he can get him out of the gate. He gets that 5 pounds. He could go wire to wire. Where the Icy Mitch he just missed last time, but I think he's going to have to catch him.
You know, Tom, I'm on record that saying P-Val is the greatest gate jockey I've ever seen anywhere in the world. He just had a tendency to get horses out on the lead. And of course, that's where you want to be riding in Southern California. Would you agree with that assessment? Have you ever seen a better gate rider than P-Val?
No, probably the only other gate rider would be Edwin Maldonado.
Of course.
He's good. But the thing about Pat, when he was in a race, he changed it for everybody. If you go with him at the beginning, you're going to lose.
Right. Everybody knew what he was going to do.
And if you get him away, he gets away from you, you're going to lose.
Sure.
So he changed the thing. And I personally think if you took a survey of horsemen the last 20, 30 years that know about racing, they'd put P-Val one of the top 3 riders ever. And he's just very talented.
Do you have any inkling why he was so good at the gate? Like, did he ever explain to you some of his magic of how he could get horses to maybe break out of there so quickly?
He said that he wouldn't tell anybody because they didn't want to know his secret.
Right.
But what Edwin did at Hollywood Park when he was riding against them, he watched them.
Sure.
And he taught himself what Pat was doing. And I think that's why Edwin breaks horses so good out of the gate.
Edwin is the current day P-Val, make no mistake
Oh,
about it. He's
definitely.
very good on the front end, but he's also a good jockey, as we mentioned
I
before.
think overall he's a great jockey. And like I said, he can get him out of the gate, that's for sure.
You know, handicappers like to typecast jockeys, right? Eddie D would always come from behind. But if you remember Eddie D's rides on the front end, he was magical.
If he was on the front end, he couldn't catch
Correct.
him. That's true. Yeah.
Race number 9 begins the $5 late daily double, again with a reduced 15% takeout, and it's our feature race on today's card. It's good to see we're coming down the Hillside Turf Course. It's the Baffle Stakes, $100,000 guaranteed for 3-year-olds. Good field of 7 here. Number 5, Scipio, is the 5-2 morning line favorite. You ride a long shot. Number 1, Game Warrior from the Peter Miller Ruben Alvarado barn, 15-1 on the morning line, but you weren't really that far off of Scipio last time. That was going 2 turns. Now you're coming down the hill. Sometimes these routers do like coming down the hill.
Yeah, like you said, down the hill, the Milers is a good race for the Milers. And he had entered Game Warrior in a 3-year-old once other than going a mile. The race didn't go. So this was an option for him. But coming down the hill, I like him. I mean, I do like the 5. I think he's the horse to beat. But there's no reason Game Warrior can't be some competition in it.
And you're 15-1 compared to 5-2. It's kind of what you just spoke about a little bit earlier in the seminar. Such a disparity in odds, and there's not that much difference in terms of talent. Game Warrior could be a really good price play in race number 9. Quick question for you, Tom. We can see Game Warrior's been working down at San Luis Rey. Do you and Antonio ever make the trip down the?
We used to. When Antonio first got here, we used to go almost every week to work.
It's not a drive around the block either. It's a good 90-mile.
It gets to you. So eventually we got to the point where, we had business here and stuff, and we ride for Peter, and we love Peter. I think Peter does a great job with the horses and stuff, but it just was too much because he needed some time riding all the races, working horses every day. He just needed a day for rest.
Sure.
And the one day we used to have for rest, we'd go down there and work for Peter, but it was worth it. I mean, Peter's got him started, helped him with his career here, and we love Peter.
Race number 10 offers $1 super high five wagering. Today we've got a $16,000 super high five carryover. And in race 10, we've got 3-year-old filly maiden special weights going 1 1/8 miles on the turf course. Scratch the 4, Inner Fury leaves us with a field of 8. You ride the morning line favorite here, number 6, Pura Vida Princess, who takes blinkers off today. She's 3-1 on the morning line. She exits a race that 6 of these runners actually exit. Let's watch the replay of that particular race back on January 20th. She's going to be wearing saddlecloth number 8. I want you to watch how ranked she is. I want you to watch the way she carries her head, particularly in the early stages. I think blinkers off today could be the key to for success for Pura Vida Princess, but you be the judge. Let's listen to Frank Miramati describe the action and watch the filly breaking from post position number 8.
And they're off. Awkward start for Firenze Flyer. It is a very quick beginning for Pura Vida Princess. Lila matches strides through the early stages, and Watershed Moment comes away in third. McKenna Rita is down at the rail, and Kitty Marin is racing in between those two. Then it's Calmate in mid-pack, racing right on the inside of Preem, who's 7 lengths off the lead. It's another 2 back to Footnote, who races inside Firenze Flavor, and 3 more lengths to the trailer, Big Leap. They're covered by 15 onto the backstretch, where it is Pura Vida Princess in front, under a hold by 1.5 lengths. Lila is in second. They are followed by Watershed Moment in the clear, while third, and down at the rail, McKenna Rita is fourth. Kitty Marin is racing in between those two with a 1/2 mile left to travel. It's another 3 to Calmate, racing inside of Preem. That pair is followed by Firenze Flavor, who's still 9 lengths off the leader at the rail. Footnote, and Big Leap continues to trail. Pura Vida Princessa takes him to the quarter pole with a 1.5 lengths advantage. Lila second most of the way. Another couple of lengths back to Kitty Marin, who's in between horses third, as McKenna Rita losing a little ground in fourth. They're at the top of the stretch, and it's Pura Vida Princessa lead a length. Lila chasing with determination in second. Out in the center of the course, Firenze Flavor is now really taking off. And here comes Firenze Flavor, erupting in the center of the course. Tons the best under her.
Tom, Umberto Rispoli came from the back of the pack and tagged you, but there was nothing wrong with Pura Vida Princessa's performance. Like I said, she was a bit rank, kind of headstrong early. They take the blinkers off. I think that could be the winning move. I'm sure you like her as well.
Yeah, and I like the mile and an eighth because it gives her a chance to relax, and she never really had a chance to relax going a mile.
Some people would think that's counterintuitive, but actually the farther distance, they'll go slower and she'll be able to relax.
Exactly, and taking the blinkers off, I think, will help. So, yeah, I think she'll be double tough in the last race. It's a race everybody can get their money back for the day.
There you go.
Losers we gave them.
Pura Vida Princess, guaranteed winner, so says Tom Knust in race number 10. Tom, I want to thank you so much for your time and insight today. You're a busy man. You didn't need to join us, but thanks so much for everything you do for the game. You've been a credit for the last 55 years. Here's to the next 55 years.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. Okay. One more wager to consider, everybody, before we go. The dollar coast to coast pick 5. We talk about it every day. Yesterday's result paid $11,000 for a $1 wager with a 15% takeout. As you can see, today's action begins with Gulfstream Park race number 8. It'll kick off in roughly 50 minutes, 12:49 p.m. Pacific time. Make sure you get involved. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hope you have a great afternoon. It's a great afternoon of racing. Good luck, and we'll see you tomorrow for Holiday Monday Racing. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. The track is fast, turf firm, rail on the turf at 20 feet. The track conditions brought to you by John Deere. Here are the changes. Race 1, number 1, Mutt Dillon, 2 pounds over. In race 2, there are no program changes. In the third, scratch number 4, activated. There's a middle pick 4 that starts with race number 4. No scratches or jockey changes. Turning to race 5, number 5, Turn on the Jets is scratch. Pick 6 starts with the 5th. Race 6, scratch 6, One Big Smile. Pick 5 starts with the 6, scratch number 6. In the 7th, late pick 4, an all-turf pick 3 wagering offered. Program scratch of 5, White Mountain. The 8th race is the beginning of the late pick 3. No changes. The 9th is the baffle and start of the $5 late double. Just blinker notes. And the 10th has a super high 5 carryover in excess of $16,000. Scratch number 4, Inner Fury. Special holiday racing tomorrow, dollar day as well. Dollar beers, dollar sodas, $2 hot dogs tomorrow. First post, 12:30, which is the case today. 27 minutes to post. Enjoy your afternoon at the Great Race Place.